Hi, I'm Charles, and today I'd like to talk about this Warmoth Tele-shaped guitar that I built. I've done several videos on the receiving of the packaging and some of the stuff I did prepping it for build. I actually have had the guitar for a little while now, played it quite a while with what I call a black eye. Didn't have the neck pickup in there for a while. I was working on getting something in there and it didn't work out. So I ended up using an Alnico magnet mini humbucker that I had to complete the project, and I'm liking the way it sounds for now, so I'm gonna kind of leave it alone. Some pretty interesting things going on with this guitar. I had ordered it with the bird's eye maple top. This isn't the AAA bird's eye, so it's pretty, but it's not like over the top. It's a alder back, which oftentimes something like this you'd see with mahogany if you want to do the LP style thing, maple if you want to do the Gretsch style thing. But my wife and I kind of were looking at the wood coloring and things like that, and we kind of ordered the woods not only for their tonal aspects, but also because of how they looked. I went with a bird's eye maple neck. This is the vintage modern construction, so it's got the skunk stripe like a Fender neck will, truss rod access there, no micro adjustment there, and this is a Zero Coat fingerboard, which is rated somewhere between maple and rosewood as far as hardness. So I thought, because it's hard to see, but it's got a little bit more waves in it. It looked really pretty without inlays in it. And then I went with the white inlays on the top, so I could still, the white fret markers, excuse me, on the top, so I could see where I'm going with things. You do see the Fender decal on the headstock. I put that there just so there's something there. All the other parts in it, pretty much the bridge, the neck plate, the strap buttons even, are Fender parts. So even though it looks very Fendery, I made sure that I've got the little Warmoth logo on the back, as well as my little signature, a little Made in USA, on the back of the headstock to kind of show this, even though it's very Fendery looking, it's not actually a Fender, but boy, man, it's a real player. This is the stainless steel SS 6105 frets, which are the narrow tall fret, which is really good for intonation. Going with the narrower fret will help you have a better crown where the strings will intonate a little bit more precisely. I know you see the three saddles there, but these are the compensated brass saddles that come on the Fender American bridge. This is a bridge they've been making for a few years. Came with the American standard back in like 2013 up to a certain point before they became the American Professional, and I liked it so much because it's got kind of it's a fusion between a vintage bridge and a modern bridge, as far as having part of the dish cut out and things like that. Kind of cool. These are occlusion, kind of they call it the Revolution tuner, which is a 19:1 gear ratio, made to fit in more or less the vintage setup. You do have to ream out the holes a little bit to fit, because it's kind of a vintage modern design. The guitar was actually shipped with just a volume tone, two knobs. It's the Strat setup. I had this knob deleted, and I played it for quite a while with just volume tone. But I decided after adding the neck pickup that I really wanted to add a second tone control, so I could have separate controls for the neck and bridge pickups as far as tone controls go. And I'm really glad I did that. So the way the cavity is designed, if I wanted to actually put a curved setup there, the volume would have been like almost too close to the bridge plate. So I actually just went ahead and measured straight across. So you'll notice they're straight in line. Still looks good, I think, with the Stratocaster positioning for the switch. You also probably saw and heard that this is actually a 5-position switch. That is because this is a humbucking pickup with 4 leads. This is a humbucking pickup. This is warp core. This is actually a neodymium design split coil, where it's actually 2 coils side by side with steel posts, neodymium magnets underneath. So it rates power-wise, output-wise, very similar to a medium hot Tele pickup, but it's hum canceling. Does it sound like a Tele? Not necessarily. Is it a nice clean sound? Yeah, it's very nice clean. and I like it a lot because of how cool it sounds dirty. I do roll down the tone control, just about 20% when I'm got some drive going, and I'm really liking it. It's clear, not humbucker like beefiness, but still quite cool. With the 5-position switch, I've got it so it's bridge by itself, bridge, neck, with the neck pickup in parallel, so it's still hum canceling. Middle position is bridge, neck pickup in series, so it's a little hotter. Still clear because of the bridge pickup. Next position is neck pickup parallel, so it's a softer output humbucking sound. And then all the way up is neck position series, so it's the full humbucker sound. Again, the mini humbuckers are a little lighter and output a little brighter than a PAF style pickup. Really kind of lends itself well for this guitar. I used kind of the retro mod input type jack that the input jack mounts right into the plate and then it bolts into the guitar. Other than that, it's kind of as it seems. How do I like it? I love it. To tell you the truth, doing this project, I was hoping for basically a custom shop guitar that doesn't cost near as much, and that's kind of what I got. We bought the body first, and then about 6 months later I ordered the neck, and so it took me a while to get the parts. Everything fit perfectly. The neck's nice solid connection, where they married together, and it's just tight. When you're getting a guitar like this, you do have to consider the setup that it's going to require. Frets were perfect. I didn't have to do any dressing. The edges, because they're stainless steel and they're tall, feels almost like you think they're a little sharp, but it's actually just that they're a very hard metal. And so you can take some time if you want to kind of roll those edges. I didn't put like the bullet ends on them, but I did kind of roll that a little bit. The main thing I wanted to do though is I've rolled the fingerboard edges, so it has a slightly more broken in feel. Easy to do with any unfinished wood, so rosewood, the Zero-Coat I could do that with, things like that. If you order a Warmoth neck that's finished with a maple fingerboard, you're not going to want to try to roll the ends yourself because you're going to scrape off the finish, and the edges don't come rolled. I haven't, as of right now, checked to see, but Warmoth might possibly roll the fingerboard edges for you for an extra premium. I'm not sure. But other than that, if you're comfortable doing kind of the project, you don't have to order it that way with most, like I said, unfinished fingerboards. If you want, let me know in the comments if you want me to do more about the Warmoth ordering process and what to look for as far as when you're ordering. Then I can give you some tips on what I found in building this. Little tips like, these are short shaft pots, but because of the thickness of the top, a long shaft pot might have been easier to use. However, these are the Tele vintage knobs that are designed to fit on a solid shaft, and I didn't find any solid shaft, long shaft pots available. But they might be out there. Other than that, things like you might want to make sure you know exactly what neck pickup you're going to want in there, because a Filtertron does not fit in a mini humbucker hole. Things like making sure you know which bridge you're going to use. This one, I knew I was going to use an American vintage bridge, American standard style bridge, I should say, because the American vintage, those screw holes are on the other side of the saddles, and so it shifts the whole thing up. You got to know these things when you make the orders. Anyway, a little bit of a play out demo that I've done, and I like it so much, I got to tell you, over there is a Strat that I built, because shortly after completing this guitar, I knew darn well that the Strat that I had, I did want to replace it, so I sold the one I had, used the money for parts to build that, and so that's going to be one that you'll be seeing again shortly. I will go ahead and link the first of the videos, so if you're new to the channel, if you haven't seen it before, you can kind of see more about how receiving the parts and all that kind of stuff as well. And anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have lots of good content for you in the near future.
Bye.